Today we're going to be talking about the text structure of chronological order. Most of the stories you read, most of the literature that you read, most of the fiction books that you read are told in chronological order. It's the it's the way that makes sense to tell a story. And with the exception of Holes, all the read aloud books that we have done this year have been told in chronological order. In chronological order, the information that you are given is organized in order of time. There's noise in the hallway, ignore it. Chrono is the prefix that means time, and logic is the root word that means order. So we're ordering things by time that they happen. Look at this example. This is a nursery rhyme you've all heard, although probably not recently. Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. That's what happens first. But then, the next thing that happens, Jack fell down and broke his crown. And then finally, the last thing that happens is Jill came tumbling after. So even nursery rhymes are told in order of the way that things are happening. And I said earlier it was with the exception of Holes, and that's not quite true. The story in Holes is told from basically from start to finish. It's just that we have so many flashbacks that you are here in the story, and then you have to go back generations and hear this part of the story, and then you come back present day. And so we're reading about Stanley digging a hole and then Elia carrying a pig. Those things aren't happening in that order, but that's how we're reading about them because they switch time on us. So that's an unusual way to tell a story, but it's a fun way to tell a story. And part of the reason I think it's fun is because we don't hear stories like that very often. Um, you could tell the story when you come in and you say, let me tell you about my weekend, or let me tell you about my morning, or whatever. You're telling a story in chronological order. Here's an example. This morning was crazy. My alarm clock was set for PM instead of AM, so I woke up really late. I just threw on some clothes and ran out the door. I rode my bike as fast as I could and thought that I was going to be late for sure, but when I got there, everyone was outside, and there were fire trucks all lined up in front of school. I guess somebody pulled the fire alarm before class started. It worked out though, because nobody really noticed or minded that I was tardy. So here we have a timeline, and I hear you've been using number lines in math. Timelines work the same way. In number lines, um, you have the change of numbers. They get bigger or they get smaller. Timeline starts with the time here, and as you move to the right, the time gets later. So first, he woke up late. Then they got ready. Then they rode their bike to school. Then they saw people outside. These are the order that things happened. Sometimes stories give us really good hints that they're chronological order stories. Check these out. There are a few passages about some artists, and they've given us a graphic organizer to show us that they're chronological order. Rembrandt is a famous artist known for his oil paintings. He was born in 1606. He knew that he wanted to be a painter by 1620 when he was at college. Rembrandt was ambitious. By 1625, he had opened his own art studio. He would go on to paint many masterpieces. Biggest clue in this that it's chronological order are these dates. 1606 is the earliest date he was born. Here, 1620, he knew he wanted to be a painter because when he was at college. 1625, he opened his own art studio. So that shows me the chronological order. This one, it doesn't give us years. It gives us ages, so years in a different way. Pablo Picasso is known for his abstract style. I need to slow down. That means that his art looks out of this world. Picasso's father was also an artist. He started training him when Picasso was 7. When Picasso was 13, he was so good that his father quit painting. At the age of 16, Picasso went to art school. So at age 7 is when he started training with his father. At age 13, he became so good it caused his father to quit, which doesn't make sense. And at age 16, he went to art school. Chronological order, things in the order that they happened. Here's one more artist we're going to read about. Andy Warhol made some outrageous art. He's the guy who painted the soup can in 1962. Or maybe one of his friends painted it. It's hard to say. Another one of his famous works is of Chinese leader Mao Zedong. This really upset people. He painted that in 1973. In 1984, he painted a picture of Prince for the movie Purple Rain. Most people liked that one. So here we're back to years again. 1962, he painted the soup can. Um, he painted the Chinese leader in 1973, and in 1984, he painted Prince for the movie Purple Rain. So those are some huge clues that we have that that's chronological order, that that's how the text structure is set up. It's a little, it can be a little tricky sometimes to always tell the order that things happen. Um, and I want to actually, I'm going to introduce something to you. I'll make a whole sentence now for your assignment today. You are going to read 4 short articles, short paragraphs, and you have to tell me, is this a chronological order, or is this a descriptive writing piece, or is this a cause and effect piece? So I want you to look very carefully and see there's 4 of those. Then I'm going to give you one activity where I'm giving you a list of things and you have to put them in chronological order. You have to put the items in order that they happened, which is actually kind of fun. You'll see what I mean. That's all I'm going to say about this because I think this is pretty simple. I want you to go try it. If you get stuck, please email me. Don't submit it until you've talked to me because I don't want you to get a poor grade because you didn't understand. Let me explain it to you before you submit it, okay?